lighting. Hello. Well, welcome. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hello, live stream. Are you here? Are you with me? Jazz hands. Do you know on Facebook Live that you can add a filter? So all of a sudden I have a fantastic tan. No, I probably don't look like a little orangey. So I want to welcome everybody to be a paid speaker now. Who right here is ready to be a paid speaker now? Show of hands. Well, you are going to, this seminar right here is a result of a divine download. She knows, as anybody who's ever experienced my coaching knows, that I get these divine downloads. I'm on my tippy toes because I feel I should just put the tripod down. It's good for my calves. This seminar was a divine download. I've created two other programs. One is called How to Speak with Confidence, which I'm actually giving to you as bonuses. I didn't tell you. So they're all video and they're online and they're self-study. So in the thank you for being a part of this program, I'm going to be giving you the playlist for the videos that people are purchasing online. And the other seminar that I'm going to give you is how to be paid, or how to speak on camera with confidence. Because you know what, Cheryl Matthews, I'm so glad you got here. The late bird, but you got the worm, girl. Because it's so important that you're able to bring your energy, not only in person, but nowadays on camera. One of the things that I am using as a marketing tool to promote myself as a speaker is Facebook Live. And so in the afternoon, it is afternoon, but in the later part of the afternoon, we're going to talk a lot about strategies. Because you could be the best speaker in the world, and if people don't know who you are, what you do, you're not going to be able to get out there. And it's just going to be a hobby and not really a career. So I really want to take what this divine download is, because I was going to make this into an online seminar. And God was like, what? No way. You absolutely need to have this to be a live event. So with you here and with all the people that are streaming, hi, Eleanor. Oh, that's you. Oh, good. So you can let me know how it looks. Okay, thank you. So you're going to handle the questions. Thanks a lot. So with you guys here, it's going to make it even more palatable. And because one of the things that you're going to get at the end of the day is you're going to be like, wow, that is a lot. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the speaking business is not for the weak sauce. It's for the hot sauce. Because it takes hustle, it takes muscle, it takes focus, and it takes passion. Because it's not glamorous. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. There's times you're sleeping on the floor in the Memphis airport because there's a tornado. I've been in tornadoes. I've been in hurricanes. I've been in Minnesota where somebody, there was a flat tire and like I'm outside in the snow and I have to speak the next day, right? So all the tricks of the trade I'm gonna teach you. But if this is something that is your calling, I believe you are here today because you are the messenger for a message. And my job is to be the midwife to allow you to give birth to that. But also, what my intention is that you do it with ease and with grace. Because why should you have to learn all the mistakes I did? Why should you have to go through the challenges I did? Why don't you take my 16 years and start over here at the top? And so what it took me 5 or 7 years to get to the level, you're going to start there. And that's what my company is all about. For those of you that know me, my company, I'll tell you my story. My company is called Synergy Unlimited. And synergy means what?
Energy.
What else?
Synergy, like connect.
Connected energy between two people or two ideas that come together and flow.
Oh, excuse me, former student of mine. 5 points for you, right? Yes. So synergy, the definition by Buckminster Fuller, is the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's that energy. It's that synergy that when two or more people come together, welcome, Lanisha. When two or more people come together with the same intention, that there's a third infinite power. In spirituality, religion, you call it God. In business, they call it like, there's like this energy, this passion, right? And I know that because all of us are committed and we have this intention, that we will fulfill it faster and easier because we're together. In fact, this was one of the principles in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that they said the people that were the richest of the day, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Ford, they were all men. That's who he studied at the time, all white men. But that's what it was, and they used the power of synergy. So before I go into everything, let me just give you, hi Lanisha, let me give you the overview of the day, what we're going to do, what we're going to cover, what you're going to learn, how you're going to be synergized. And then we will do some introductions because I want to know your intentions and I want to know your goals so we can customize the seminar to you, my friends. And that means you, Lanisha, and that means you, all of you. Okay, so how it's going to flow is I am going to go through all of what you need to do to get started as a speaker. The clarity piece. What is the problem that you solve? I'm going to teach you the distinctions between keynote speaker, breakout speaker, etc. I'm going to also go through each and every one of my forms. Like, how do you get a gig? How do you get repeat gigs? How to negotiate the contract? Resources for you to take your speaking career to the next level. And by the, oh, welcome. Hi, gorgeous. Oh my God, sit right down. And so by the end of the seminar, you are going to be, and when I said you're going to be a little bit overwhelmed, it's because it is a lot. However, I'm not just going to drop you off. I'm not just going to say, okay, go to school, you're done. So I'm going to give you support to be able to do it. Because basically this seminar is what? What do you need to do to be a paid speaker? And the speaking industry is very much like the music industry. It changes, right? So one minute it's like everybody's getting booked and you're making all this money, and then the next minute there's a disruption. 9/11, all my speaking gigs went down. 2008, economic crash. The phones stop ringing, right? And this is why it's great that you have me as your coach, because number one, I am a master manifester, law of attraction diva. Look at where I am, manifested this. Look at who you guys are right here. Manifested you right here. You guys are goddesses, right? So law of attraction is one thing. The other thing that I use that I'm going to share with you is social media marketing strategies. Some of you may know me as the social media goddess, right? I've booked so many speaking engagements. I was going to like total up the money, and I was like literally it's over like $450,000. Like if we total everything up that I just from social media alone, like serious business. But results may vary, my friends, because you need to build up a following, right? So all of that I'm going to share with you, and then at the end when we're at 2. How long are we going? Till 4? So at 3:30 and we're like, whoa, I didn't know it was all of that. And I was like, not to worry, friends, because I'm going to help you with everything. Like literally with everything. Everything that I overpaid for. Everything, no, seriously. Everything that I did wrong, you're going to have the support so you won't need to do that. So what we're going to do first now is we are going to go around the room. And this is going to be the simple, like name and everything, intention. But later on, we're going to talk about our message. Remember what I said? I keep saying it over and over. I said in the confirmation that you are the messenger for the message. I truly believe that each and every person has unique talent, skills, and abilities, and that we're here not by accident, but by destiny. Oh, I'm starting to get motivational. And I'll tell you my story, and you know why. That it's like our destiny, and I feel now more than ever in 2017 that we have to speak up, and we have to speak out. Look, I got chills. We have to speak up, and we have to speak out, because it's like we're hitting a implosion, explosion. And it's good, because my reverend always says it's like the breakdown before the breakthrough. But each of you has a part and a piece of it to help us create peace in our world. Because if we don't, then we're equally responsible for what happens, because we're responsible for the conditions and circumstances in our life at cost. So it's very important that we're here today. Like I wanted to wait till you know how you get into perfectionist mode, till everything's like this and everything's like that, blah blah. And when when I got the call, it wasn't from you. It was from a higher power I call God. God was like, no, you need to do this now. I'm like, whoa, I really, right now in May? Yes, right now. And I get asked to speak a lot places that I would not even ever think to speak. Like I'm doing a sermon on Sunday, like in a church. Like they're giving me the pulpit. I'm like, whoa, friends. Wow. Or like, speaking at Procter & Gamble for all of their entire Latina staff that they flew in from around the nation. Like once you are the messenger for the message, it's not you. It's like you are just being used. You are the vessel and the channel, and it's through you and not from you. And let me tell you, that will take away a lot of the fear and anxiety. That's why the first course I did was how to let go of fear and anxiety. And if you want to, I'll go over a little bit of that in here if we have time. But you can watch the videos at home because it's really important that we let that ego, that's not our amigo, you know it, our enemigo, that you get it out of the picture because your message is so much more important than that. It doesn't matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter the few people, because few people in every seminar, except for this one, won't like you, right? Everybody's going to like me. But they'll just write a weird comment. Like to me, they'll like, you talk too fast. I'm like, I'm a New Yorker, Colombiana, Scorpio. You better get used to it, friend. Catch up, said the little tomato to the big tomato, okay? So you just have to roll with it. Hey, Alex. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around. You're going to say your name. And what is your intention? What do you want to get out of this? At the end of the day, what do you see yourself leaving with? Because it's really important. And we're going to go to you too, Lanisha and Cheryl. You're going to get a chance to do it too. But let's start because you were here first. Early bird gets the worm. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Foster. And what I am anticipating gaining from today's meeting is to be able to speak comfortably in social media, and ultimately from social media to transfer the platform into speaking to a live audience. I have recently started a neighborhood watch program. I'm just overwhelmed by the support that I'm getting, but my community is so large, and ultimately I will become a voice. So I don't want to be nervous when I get up and speak.
Oh, yes.
So?
Not you. Not on my watch. Fantastic.
Hi, my name is Shalita, and I'm here because I do agile coaching in corporate America, in businesses, and I want to take away some skills in terms of connecting with the audience a little bit more. Every team that I coach is a brand new audience of a small number of people, and every time I can get in front of them and connect with them a little better, the better the results of their projects are. So that's kind of what I'm wanting from this. I do it internally as part of an organization, but I also want to incorporate it outside, maybe become a consultant in some way in terms of doing project management and agile coaching.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So corporate training, and then you also want to do consulting.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done.
Hi everyone, my name is Janet Dyer, and I've been asked to participate and present in conferences and workshops and other speaking engagement over some time now. I'm actually a pre-licensed marriage and family therapist, professional clinical counselor, and I do workshops and events. And for the most part, it's always on a volunteer basis. My time, it takes a lot of time and energy to put together a speaking engagement. And so today, I'm here because for the title. How do I become paid at this? I have a big heart. I'm a helping type of person, but again, it's my time, it's my effort, it's my energy, everything that I pour out. Just because someone is saying, paying me to do it, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to just throw anything out there. I'm going to prepare, and I do that all the time when I speak at different events or present a workshop or at a conference. So, as the title say, I want to be paid. And I also want to walk away with skills and ideas on how to market myself as a speaker.
Wonderful. You guys are going to freaking love me when I give you some. No, because I already do. Okay, good. But I just, when it comes to marketing, like in preparing for this workshop, it like doors open that are like, it's just going to make your life so much easier. So anyway, I'm excited to share that with you. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi.
Go ahead.
So my name is Cassandra Reed, and what I would like to get out of today is to start taking the necessary steps. So I need some guidance and direction to take the actions to make a speaking career possible. So that is, and then I'm familiar with Deborah. I see her in the community. She's very active and involved, and I just want guidance. That's it. Yeah.
And when you say guidance, what do you see yourself?
Step one, where do we go? What do we do? You know, who do we talk to? Do I make videos? Do I, you know, just like a roadmap as to where to get started and how to get the results that I'm looking for?
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah, girl. I got you.
Hello all, I'm Anal Para, and actually me and Deborah, Deborah helped me really put a lot of my thoughts and helped me put what my passion is, and I just started putting it into action, and I created this movement that has like completely flourished. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm actually hosting my first workshop next Saturday. And that's like me putting a workshop together and charging for it. That was something. That was like, you know, something big for me that I, you know, limiting belief that I had. You know, like I'm not worth it. But I paid tons of money. I've invested tons of money in myself and my work, like time and energy, like just like working past all these limiting beliefs is what helped me put the workshop together. So what I plan to get out of this is how do I get bigger like speaking engagements? How do I be okay with charging? You know, because initially I was going to charge $100, and then I brought it down, and I think because I felt that I wasn't worth it, but I am worth it, right? So it's just like really owning that I do, because like you said,
yeah. I'll say amen to that one.
Yes.
Own that we're worth what
yes.
we're charging, right?
Yes, because we all have a message, and just like she said, we're a messenger, you know, for that message. And I'm strongly, you know, rooted in my belief in God, and I know that where I am today is not even me. Like it's just like she, you know, when I said a vessel, I'm just a vessel that God is using, and I'm just, you know, all my struggle, everything that I've been through is what I'm sharing. And in sharing, the more and more that I'm sharing is how I've realized, like, hey, I have a big message. Like, a lot of women are drawn to me. I'm getting a lot of support. So how do I take this to the next level? Like, you know, and really, because, like you know, I have a big heart, so it's like, part of me feels guilty, like, but this is my passion. I shouldn't get paid for it. But we absolutely should, because money is energy. That's all money is, right? And we're energy, so... Yes.
And I'm really glad she said that, because one of the biggest lessons that I learned was, and my dad makes me say it to this day over and over, is do not speak for free.
Yep.
Do not speak for free. I mean, if you're doing something for your job and you're not being paid, that's fine. But I find that the less, like if I speak for free or if I charge less than what I'm worth, I am treated so bad. Like they won't even pick me up at the airport. Like I'll be in another city, I won't have to like get a ride, they won't drop me off. But if I'm paying, one of the biggest gigs I did was with Stedman Graham. He was the keynote speaker. They paid, friend, I think it was like maybe like, I don't know, $10,000 for this 45-minute talk, and they gave me a limo, and they gave me a gift, and they had champagne in the room. Procter & Gamble, who was like $8,000 thing, had jacuzzi in the room. I'm like, wait a minute! You should have told me about this. So it's like, we have to claim our worth and our value. And when people say, oh, but just do it for the community, like a lot of Latina organizations would say, oh, do it for the people, right? I'm like, well, are the people going to pay my rent? Because my landlord and Morgan, you know, they actually want to be paid. So that's the kind of exchange system we're working in. So I really am glad that you brought that up, and it's such an important point. And I actually am going to give you a precious item. No speakers will give this to you. Like, they won't. Like, the stuff I'm giving to you, and why? Because I believe in infinite abundance. I don't believe when I give to you that there's not enough for me, or that somehow, I believe in all of there's a place for all of us. And so you're having this and being able to negotiate your highest gigs off the bat. Why not? Why the heck not? Right? Okay. Don't make it motivational. Okay, Annie, I'm so glad you came. I was going to tell you, just come. She was going to live stream, but there's nothing like live.
Well, I must have gotten it because I didn't get your message, but I said,
It was telepathic.
I can't live stream, and I'm just going to show up.
That's what you do in life. You show up. And so what you're giving is your name and what you want to get out of this. I just want to say she's one of my clients, and we met, and she was an audience member of mine, and she became a coaching client of mine. Annie is one of the few people, when I was teaching Facebook Live, that got on camera and just did it. Even though she was scared, even though she knew what she was doing, she does 200-mile cycle races and has been promoting. I'm just proud of you. So thanks for showing up today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's great to be here. One of the reasons it's good to be here is because I see all of us as leaders in the future, so I want to connect with all of you and stay connected, because we're going to bounce off of each other's energy, and she's going to give us some fantastic things. I don't know anyone like Deborah who's going to catapult me and you know, to where we want to be, without us having to go through all these stumbling around like she's done with all these, you know, whatever. She's going to help us, you know, sort of get there. And now I want to go to the top. Being a cyclist 200 miles in a day, I want to go to the top as fast as I can get there.
That's how you roll! That's how you roll! I love it!
So where's the perseverance? We're into, you know what? We're going to get headwinds, we're going to get hills, we're going to get heat, we're going to get, you know, run into dead ends and have to go through detours and everything. But, you know, why not have a leader take us there?
Faster and easier.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I have a route sheet for people. Yeah, we could design our own, but you know what? Someone else is already doing it for us and will help us get there, give us the support we need. But, you know, that's what I appreciate about Deborah and all that she's done for me so far. And so I just want to stick with her. When you find someone who's doing what you want to do, you know what? Look no further. Just stay with them.
I should have had her before for promotion of video. But she's saying what I always say is success leaves clues. Turn the camera to yourself now, Alex. No! Yeah, so Alex, by the way, just came from Lisa Nichols' Speak and Grow and Write. And she still came. She's like, you know what? But I still want to come to your workshop.
Yeah. So I'm a storyteller, and I am a documentary maker and a psychologist in training. And as a result of my work, I want to inspire, transform, and motivate women's lives. And so the first thing that we need to do is own our story. And for me to own my story is, okay, my story doesn't belong to me. And if I want to show up in my life, I have to get the story out there. And for me, being behind the camera is really comfortable. That's my comfort zone. I always interview other women, and I hate to be on camera. So for me, being here and not being behind, but in front of the camera is something new that I want to practice. And just what you said, I really related to what you said. We need to get paid. Because for me, money is the attraction to movement. And so if I want to make money, I need to make a move. And that's why I'm here today. So
glad to have you. And guess what? Our live streamers also, can you, okay, so I want to introduce our gorgeous live streamers. Did I tell you our live streamers are so good looking, by the way? So Sunita Johnson is here, and Lanisha Stubbs. Lanisha Stubbs says, hi everyone, I'm a commercial and residential broker. My company is West City Real Estate Group, and my services include sales and marketing. I've started hosting club meetings, meetups, to share my consulting services, and an investor club. I love helping new investors acquire wealth through real estate. I also am looking for tools on how to properly market myself for larger speaking engagements, and that's what I'm going to talk about. How to properly market. Anybody else on the live team? Cheryl, Ina, do you want to introduce yourself? Ina is my fantastic fantastic State Farm insurance brokerage. She actually moved to get married, la la, good for her, and is starting a new career. So she is just excited to be here. And you guys, if you have anything that you want to say, make sure you write in the comments, and we have beautiful Eleanor here that's monitoring that. So am I still back on?
Do you have another? Yes.
Do we have another one? Is there another one?
Another.
No, because I made the copies. I didn't know you were coming. So, I mean, I can, okay.
She's missing.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so do you have one?
I don't.
No, you don't have one? Okay, you guys gonna be okay? Okay, so friends, I only made the ones for people through here. Okay, so I'm still on the camera?
Yes, you're live.
Oh, now, okay, so that's probably better than me staring at it, right? Okay, I feel much more free. Yay! So I just want to briefly talk about my story. One of the things that Alex said, and I know Anel knows, it's really important for us to know why we speak, why we are the messenger for the message. The first thing I'm going to teach you is your clarity to niche and grow rich. And I'm not making any of the stuff up. When you look at the PowerPoint presentation and see where I don't want to bore you with where I've spoken at, but those of you that know me know British Petroleum, JP Morgan, and Manhattan Friends. Caribbean Princess Cruises, and I'm going back to, I'm going to speak to the Caribbean Tourism Travel Board in Puerto Rico. Very fantastic. I got that gig through Snapchat. NASA hired me through Instagram. Verizon hired me for a $60,000 contract through YouTube. I was like, what? I thought it was a joke, friend. I was like, are you kidding? Because you know you do a prayer, and you say, God, I'm open and available to use my talent, skills, and ability to give unlimited the best of the world. And you do the social media, right? So it's not just prayer and social media, law of attraction. But that was through an agency. They found me, and I'm going to tell you later this afternoon how you can be found. In fact, I'd love to help you all once you're ready at that point with your YouTube optimization, because that's going to be a really important part. I've spoken Navy, Marines, Pendleton, down at Camp Pendleton, Air Force. When I was married at the time, they thought my husband was a terrorist. He wouldn't let him on base because he had a little goatee beard. I'm like, no, he's Salvadorian. He's okay. I've spoken for Latino organizations, women organizations, all over the place. And in addition to that, I also, like Anel and some of you, Alex, spent probably, I always said, don't tell my dad, like $50,000 in speaking training. Okay? So Toastmasters, of course, was free. But then I did T. Harv Eker. I don't know if you know Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. I did like the Train the Trainer class with Blair Singer. That was it was like $5,000 just for that 4 days. One of the best things that I ever did, and which taught me how to facilitate crowds. One of the first speaking engagements I got, don't wait till you're ready, just ready. Instead of, people say ready, aim, fire, but in speaking business, we say fire, aim, ready. So when City of Riverside was being sued and they needed a diversity person, me and my business partner who was from Ghana, they saw our little faces. We didn't even have on our website that we did diversity training. They're like, you look diverse. This is what's going to happen to you, Sunita and Ina and Lanisha and everybody, Cheryl, I remembered everybody's names on the thing, is when you are in alignment, your niche is going to find you. So when they called me, it was for their entire staff. So they did 500 people at a time in a convention center, Rainbow Convention Center in the City of Riverside. Put us at the mission in, and it was $21,000 for that 2-day thing. I was like, whoa! I love the speaking business. I was like, because in my job, it would take me months to be able to make that kind of money, and we were like doing it. It wasn't easy, my friends, speaking and preparing and doing it. But once you get in the groove and you have your niche, you're going to not have the mistake I made. Because I made the mistake where I was doing too many topics, and then I was constantly having to recreate. Once you have your one thing that you're fantastic at, and you stick to it, I'm going to talk about that in the clarity piece, it's going to be so much easier, because you're not going to have to be so nervous. Oh, now I'm going to have to do this, and what am I going to do? You're going to have it. I also did train the trainer with Chris Howard. I'm sure you're familiar with Anthony Robbins. And the reason Anthony Robbins is so popular, one of the things he's trained in that I'm also trained in is NLP, which neuro-linguistic programming is simply the brain's, how you process information. And it's not just the conscious level, what you're aware of, but the subconscious level under the surface. So he uses a lot, like his whole thing is NLP. And I use a little bit of it, but I'm going to share with you some of those techniques. So when I talk about what you're getting, like you're getting like everything. Also, adult whole brain learning, Paul Sheely. In addition to doing training, there is a science behind training. Like certain things, the way you set up the room, the way you interact with people, the way you facilitate. You see how I'm not using a PowerPoint? I was going to, only because, you're not videotaping, are you? Okay. Only because, I don't want to have this on Facebook Live or something like that. Only because, oh no, I lost my train of thought. Remind me back.
PowerPoint. No.
PowerPoint.
The reason why you did.
The reason why I don't do PowerPoint is because every single time I go to do a PowerPoint, there's some technical thing. And so this is one of the things that I require that you're going to learn, even today, because everybody that's supposed to be here to set up didn't work today. So nobody knew how to do anything. They tried 3 different things, so I printed it out. Always have a backup. Never let them see you sweat. Although we did sweat a little bit. We did sweat a little bit, but it's good for our soul, right? I always say to people, I am the PowerPoint. And when I said to Procter and Gamble, I said, I don't know if I'm going to do a PowerPoint. They're like, we trust you. Whatever you want to do, right? So it's really, really important when it comes to whole brain learning that it's interactive. Adults, and this is why if you ever heard Les Brown or Mark Victor Hansen, every other word, yes or what? Yes. Yes? Yes? Yes. Say, like you are saying things out loud. Why? Because you're not going to remember what I say. You're going to remember what you say. So it's that whole, especially if you're going to do like motivational speaking, you want to get it into people's soul, heart and soul. So all these different trainings that I have. So my story is I did not grow up when I was a little girl and say I'm going to become a motivational speaker. The number one question why I did this seminar, people would message me, inbox me, so how did you get started? Thinking like it's like a 2-minute answer or 1-sentence thing. And it's not. I actually was going to be in business marketing. Crazy. Think of me in business marketing, right? And then I was going to school and I had a life-changing experience. And it was Valentine's Day weekend, like I think it was 1992, and I had the most gorgeous boyfriend. Sure did. If I show you pictures, you're like, wow. I mean, whoa. We met down the street in Westwood. That was where you went at the time, you know? You just walked down the street. Oh my God, you're gorgeous. Thanks that you're gorgeous. We fell in love, right? And he's a model. Ooh, basketball player. Wow. And so we were going to get together for Valentine's Day. He was my junior prom date and my senior prom date. Oh my God, my first boyfriend was like eating his heart out. In fact, we had him in the limousine just so he could be up close. He had a friend date so he could see me with this gorgeous man. Anyway, so we were going to spend Valentine's Day together, but unfortunately he moved to Arizona. Not far, he's down the 10 freeway. And so we were just took a little ride. And I knew that this Valentine's Day was going to be fantastic. How did I know that? Because I decided to become the event planner of Valentine's Day. Like, don't worry about it. I got a spreadsheet. I got a chart. It's 8:01 to 8:02. Is this romance is from 11:11 to 1:11? I had it all down. All Jason Tucker, I will say his name because we're not shooting left, had to do was show up. Show up. That's all you had to do. So what happened? I get a call. You know. Honey, as soon as are you coming, Mija? As soon as he said Mija, I knew that he wasn't coming. I'm like, oh, I have to work, and every day is Valentine's Day when I'm with you. And I was like, boom, I was so mad. I was like ready to break up with him, and my inner Scorpio was like, oh my God, I'm gonna just like go out there and find a new boyfriend or whatever, and then I'm gonna have a girls' night in, and we're just gonna talk about how bad men are, like all these like evil plots, right? Before I was evolved. I was young. I was 19, right? And so then I had a moment of clarity and stillness, and I write about this in the book. It's in the Power of Now chapter. The only way that I am a sane person with all that has happened to me in my life is being present. And being with Deepak Chopra yesterday and meditating with him and being in that presence, it just reminded me of that. And in this presence, and when we're present, we get ideas, the divine downloads I was telling you about. We get images. They don't necessarily make sense because it's like our right brain, super conscious brain. It's not like linear ABC. And so I saw a picture of my brother David in my head. I'm like, why am I seeing a picture of my brother David? And my brother David had lived in Lancaster. I can say this because you guys are California people. I was living in Chatsworth. And when you don't have a car, Chatsworth and Lancaster might as well be another state. And I was like, oh my God. But I had this idea to get together with my brother. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to follow my intuition. Because my parents, being in the divorce, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with them. So I'm like, okay, I have this weekend for you to spend the time with him. And the video that was hot was the video we were watching, Karen. Remember that video? Remember the time? And so we were like, what are we going to do? Practice the moves. I'm getting better from my samba, right? Oh my hips like have new circular motion that I never had before from all my samba training. Anyways, that was a surprise to me, friends, that I could move my hips like that. I was like, wow. So practicing the video, having a great time, me and my brother David, and then he came for the whole weekend. Like nothing special, pollo loco, We took, in the valley, if any of you have ever lived in the valley, you take the bus to the mall, to the Topanga Mall. Anybody, Valley girls? And that, yeah, right? You go down to Topanga, all that. And that was it. And then Sunday night, I got a call, and I was thinking it was Jason to tell me how he was going to make it up to me. And I heard my mom's voice trembling. And my mom's name is Jo, my Mother's Day mom. She said my brother had an epileptic seizure. That they had helicoptered him to the hospital because they couldn't revive him when the paramedics came. And Antelope Valley Hospital. And so my dad and I drove to the hospital, and we're just like, he had been to the hospital many times because he was born not breathing, because that's how he had seizures. And because he was a teenager, 16, he had medication, and your hormones change when you're a teenager. So he had an appointment with a neurologist that Monday to go look at his medication. So we go to the hospital. My dad and I were walking down this corridor to go to the hospital. I hate hospitals. Do you guys hate it? It's like cold and the smell of the food, and I just don't like hospitals at all. And I'm walking down there, and these two ladies, these social workers, come, and they're like, "We're sorry, your brother passed away in the helicopter ride to hospital. He's dead." And I was like, completely not even saying it, it's shocking, right? I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, we're dancing, we're eating, we're playing, everything. I ran to the room and I saw, the body that was my brother, but the soul, his energy, the life was gone, and he was gone. And that's when I had, how Oprah says you get the whisper that you should do something different? You get the knock and then you get the boulder. That was the boulder. Because I knew when I was majoring in business marketing, it was for the money. I wasn't doing it because it was my passion. I was doing it for the money. And when my brother passed away, people kept saying, he went to Palm Del High, that it was such a tragedy. And they built this tree for him at Palm Del High, and everybody was and they were just making me feel worse. Saying it was a tragedy because I felt like it was my fault. If I would have kept him one more day, or if I would have done something different, or whatever. The survivor's guilt. And I really was questioning life. I'm like, I don't know if I want to live in a life that could take a boy, 16 years old. This is me and my brother. He's my why I speak. So I keep him everywhere, all around me when I remember why I speak. And so cute, right? So he came to me in a dream, my brother David. And a couple months after he passed, I was going through all the stages of grief. And it was clear as day. Have you ever had a visit from somebody that had passed? You know what I'm talking about. So it wasn't a joke. I don't even know if it was a dream or if it was like an angel really coming to visit me. And he said to me, clear as day, my death, he didn't say death. He said, it was not a tragedy, it was a destiny. And he said, my contract was over. Like, I don't think he used the word contract, but that's how I interpreted it. Like, I'm interpreting what he said. So he said, my soul's contract was complete. It was actually, and we had like a medium do a reading after, and they confirmed it, that it was 16 years, and I actually stayed longer than I was supposed to. So don't be sad, and don't be depressed, and don't be angry. You need to be on purpose. And I was like, look, I get chilled. You need to be on purpose. I'm like, why? He said, because you are here to help people to discover their purpose. I'm going to cry right now because that's you. You are his legacy. You're showing up in these seats. Who knew every seat would be filled? Right? And every you guys would be here. His words to me at that time created space for you sitting here right now. He said, your purpose is to help people to be passionate and to be abundant doing what they love. And remember when I was teaching for maybe 12 years, human services, and the students were thinking you could either help people or you could do what you love, right? And I was always saying, no. My first company after my brother passed is called Passionate Living Now. Helping people be abundant doing what they love. And that's when T. Harv Eker hired me from Success Tracks to be his coach. And I was coaching people for many years and then started speaking. But I told you that story not to like upset you, but I told you that story to get you to understand that the reason why I do what I do is completely and totally for you. To be this midwife, to be the facilitator, that I feel like I wouldn't be honoring my brother's life by not doing this. Like if I'm like, oh, I feel like we're on the beach today, I'm just gonna have some margaritas with friends. No, I couldn't live that life. Like my life is so purposeful. And when you speak from the place that I speak from, like I tell this story, and usually when I tell the story on stage, depending on the room, depending on my place of being, sometimes I start crying on stage. Sometimes people cry, it's a different energy, but people to understand the why. This is what I want you guys, and this is what I'm about to facilitate with you. Why are you doing this? And so when I went back to school, I changed my major from business to marketing. I'm like, could I just finished it, right, Alex? I had 2 more quarters just to finish my bachelor's degree in business marketing, but I had 3 quarters of marketing. And those of you that have had coaching sessions with me, you know my marketing is stuck. The meat is on the bones of my marketing training. But then I went and I changed my major, started all over again. I went to college for 8 years because I was on this quest. Yeah, I wasn't on the fast track program. It was a slow track program. I changed my major to counseling to help people with disabilities, like my brother. Because I took it literally. I was supposed to help people like him. And then when I quit my job, in 2002, I quit my job. What the heck? I went to the SBDC in 1999 saying I have this vision called Passionate Living Now to start a business. They helped me write the business plan. 2 years later, I quit my job. And my boss quit her job too. We both quit because we started a business. We were doing job fairs in the city of Inglewood for 7 years, and we started making money. We had our own bank account, and at the end of the day, we would get a pat on the back. We're like, wait a minute, we can do this on our own, right? So, and when you are on your path, doors, and you are on your path. You wouldn't be sitting here if you're not on your path. So when I ask you, are you on the path? You are on the path, okay? So when you're on your path, things open up. It's almost like a light is illuminated, like the Billie Jean video. Right? Like you're stepping like, whoa, 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 whoa. Seriously. So I finished my counseling degree, bachelor's degree, and then I was like, my counselor was worried that if I got married or pregnant that I wouldn't come back for my master's. She's like, you really need to get with your master's. I'm like, oh, I can't afford it. Because I was actually paying for my bachelor's. My parents had gotten divorced and they weren't even paying attention with me going to college. Like if it wasn't, and I was like, what can I afford? I didn't even apply to universities. I'm like, okay, Cal State LA sounds good, let me go. And my counselor said, how's your Spanish? I was like, muy bien. Maybe also I didn't speak Spanish, but my dad taught me to always say yes. People ask you. So I said, muy bien, right? And then he's like, oh, because there's a grant if you speak Spanish or Korean. I think it was the 2 languages. I was like, I'm definitely not going to be able to say yes in Korean. I can't even say yes in Korean. So I got a full paid grant to get my master's degree. Yeah, full paid. Like not just the degree, stipend, parking, because my car had gotten stolen. I had to see, that's a whole other story in the book, because I couldn't afford the $42 parking pass, so I parked off campus and they stripped it for parts and found it later in common. Right? That's one of the reasons I didn't have a car. So when I had the parking pass, I was like, great! Now I can actually park in the parking lot at school. And so this is part of the story. And one of the things, like when you were talking about before, Marianne Williamson, who is one of my mentors, if you ever have seen her speak, do you know who I'm talking about, Marianne Williamson? Write this down if you don't, on your piece of paper. And there's notebooks, but if you didn't bring paper. Because I find some people don't bring paper, some people don't bring pens, but I have pens and notebooks of it. So her name is Marianne.com. She wrote, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate.
Oh, I know who she
We are powerful beyond measure. Who am I to shine my light, talent, skills, ability? So fantastic. Who am I not to be? When we shine our light, we liberate others." And there's a part about it. It's God's. I take that out for corporate, but it's in there. And Nelson Mandela read her thing. She was literally on my vision board to speak. And 2 years ago, at the California Women's Conference, I got to speak on the stage with her. And then I led the meditation at Agape. I'm a licensed spiritual counselor. And she was speaking the day I led the meditation. So again, I got to share the stage with her. So this is what's going to happen with all of you. That when you are clear on your message, and when you are focused, let me tell you something. My dad, he's from Colombia. And he's so funny. He still talks like Ricky Ricardo, right? Daily. I'm so glad this isn't live with him. Or live stream people. Daily. We need to focus. You need to focus on your dreams. Do not get paid for free and just stay focused. So now that I shared with you my story, my friends, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get clarity on whose story? Your story, friends. Your story. Because without knowing your why, everything that I talk about, because anybody can get out there to speak, but if you want to make money with more zeros, why not, right? Some of you said that. Why not? Why not add the extra zeros? You need to be able to be naked with your soul. And you need to not just speak from the heart, but you need to be able, and that's why Lisa Nichols, who was replaced Abraham in The Secret, was, from here, Inglewood, to being one of the only women motivational speakers to go public, right? Fantastic. And I got to meet her after The Secret. They had a panel, and and she endorsed my book and everything like that. So fantastic. We spoke at the E-Women's Conference together. But she and all the speakers that are the top paid speakers, they don't just talk. They orate. They move you. They take you from high to low to back up to back down, right? I would be doing you a disservice if I was just happy motivational all the time and I didn't tell you like the essence of why I do what I do. And I'm at the point where I'm not crying over that story so much because I don't feel that my brother's passed anymore, because he's been transitioned more than he was alive, and I feel him with me more than ever. And you want to hear something amazing? My other brother, who's 20 years younger than me, had a baby, and he named him David. Mm-hmm. And David will only listen to Michael Jackson. If you put anything on that's not Michael Jackson, remember the time, he is not about it. Okay? So we're moving to the piece of clarity on your topic, because I always say, and I'm going to have you repeat this, niche. Oh, you guys are you're looking at that. That's just a supplemental bonus. We're not on that. So this thing, I just gave this to you. This is for those of you, I said this at the beginning, that have fear of speaking. I have another course that I'm not teaching today. This course is Paid to Speak Now. This is how to remove your fear of speaking. And I have videos that I'm going to send you. It's bonus. And then I have another course, how to get paid to speak on camera. It's hot off the press. And they printed it in blue color, so I wanted to give it to you. But we're not on that. So what we're on is clarity. When you are super clear on who you are, why you're living in this body, breathing, and being here on this planet, what difference do you make, what problem you solve, then that clarity, that niche, is going to allow you to be guided. It's Reverend Michael, my other mentor of the Agape International Spiritual Center, says pain pushes until vision pulls.
Say that again?
Pain pushes
Until
meaning
vision pulls.
you get fired from your job. Oh, this is a great time to start the business. Or you lose a contract. Oh, this is like I lost a contract that I had. Those of you that know me from the SCDC, it like just went away. I'm like, oh, it's because God has been wanting me to do this, be paid to speak, and all these other things, and I had no time when I was doing that. So pain pushes us out sometimes before we're ready from the little nest to fly, but it doesn't have to. Sometimes vision can pull, and this is something that Anthony Robbins says, it's human nature to act more from pain than from pleasure. You think we would?
Oh yeah, he's all about that.
Yeah. You think we would act more? And that's just basic psychology. The humans work more from pain than from pleasure. So what I want you to do right now, you have your notebooks writing. I actually want you to physically write. I'm glad you guys didn't bring computers. Because there's something about writing, and I'm also going to teach you mind mapping. We're not going to write speeches in this course, but later on, if you want coaching, like on how to do a keynote and all that stuff, I'm going to help you actually construct a speech, because that's very, very important. So what you're going to do right now is you are going to outline. You're not going to write like the whole thing of what is your why. If you were to think, if today, think about this, if today was the last day on earth, and you were going to get on Facebook Live or whatever, and you had the opportunity to broadcast to every single person on the planet, what would you say to them? What would be the message that if it was like a one-sentence headline, and then write that you would want them to know? That would be the, and erase what you said before, like say you thought you were going to do corporate training, consulting, but it's just like, what is your message that you want to get out to the world? And everybody on the live stream, can we turn the live stream towards, or your behind? Okay, great. So same with everyone on live stream, take a moment to write down, if it was the last day on earth, and you had like 5 minutes to give people the message that they needed to know, that was going to be your legacy, what would it be? And write it down. First answer, best answer. One of the things that, especially when you're writing speeches, and what I do now, I found like this beautiful garden, and it overlooks the ocean. It's the street near my neighborhood. It's like in Mar Vista. And when I go there, I just feel like I'm like Cinderella or Snow White or Alice, whatever brown Latina princess there is. Jasmine or somebody like that. Who's brown? Whoever the brown girl is. And I'm just like all the flowers and the birds and everybody's talking to me like that. And I just allow it to download. I get quiet, I meditate, I get grateful, and then I receive it. So what I want you to do, because there's power in what? The word. right, is you're going to turn to the person next to you, and those of you that are live streaming, you can turn to your dog, your cat, your plant, your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, whoever's near you. If it's yourself, then say it out loud to yourself, and you're going to share it because, and this is what I learned from Paul Sheely, whole brain learning, very important for you to know. Humans, talking about humans, most of us would talk to humans, except in Beverly Hills, there's dogs everywhere. People bring dogs in their offices here too. So, as humans, we process 3 ways: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. VAK. So, people need to see it. That's why I have a visual aid for you. Something. Auditory, you need to hear it. If this was on mute, it wouldn't work, right? And also, there's auditory digital, which is a subcategory of auditory. This is NLP, by the way, as well. So some of us that are auditory people, and you know you're auditory if you talk out loud. Like if you're reading instructions and you have to say them out loud to get it, you're auditory. I feel like you guys.
Oh, yeah. I am.
Yeah, I knew you guys were because you're like me. So like for me, I couldn't just look at like directions, would totally overwhelm me. I need to watch the YouTube tutorial and then say it to myself out loud. And this is important because some of you are not going to be necessarily the keynote speaker, but you're going to facilitate workshops. And you want to be masterful at whatever you are, or do corporate training, right? And being able to do that 8 hours a day. Oh my God, I did corporate training 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Whoa, trust me, you need energy for that. So then the third one is K, kinesthetic. You need to feel it, right? So this is why you do exercises and processes. So, and there's ways that you can anchor this without doing processes when you have groups of 1,000. And I can talk to you more about that. But that's more about the facilitation of groups, which is probably another workshop, huh? How to facilitate crowds and all of that. Okay? So visual, auditory, and kinesthetic is the 3 ways we process information. So the reason I'm having you partner and say it out loud is some of you may wrote down something. This is me. Like I used to, pro tip friends, I used to write out all my speeches. Like literally, I would sit at the computer, wrong, and I would sit at the computer and I would type them out. And I'd have 8 pages, and then I'd have 10 pages. Then I would rewrite it. I would literally be at the lobby of the hotel at midnight, the night before my keynote speech, be rewriting my speech. And then I would get to the podium, and I'd put the thing down, and I would never look at it. I would never say anything, maybe a few things that were on it. I was like, why did I spend hours not just typing it, but worrying about it and thinking about it and how I'm going to remember? When you watch the audios that are the bonuses I'm giving you, I have the tricks of how to do that. How to remember your speeches both on camera and off. But that's not the way to do it. Yeah, not at all. I don't do that at all. What I do now, I'll just give you the quick tip, is I speak my speeches into my phone. And for anybody that's hyper like me, maybe, I don't know if some of you are, I'm not like a sit down kind of girl, so I'll go in my garden, Snow White area, and I will have my phone, and then I'll start walking around. And I literally wrote a book that way that's about to come out on networking. I would talk for 20 minutes, which is very easy for me, and walk for 20 minutes, which is very easy for me. I have a book. I spoke it out, emailed it to Rev, they transcribed it, now I'm getting it edited, it's going to be published. Right? Cool. So you're going to be, okay, so how are we on numbers? 2, 4, 6, 8. Excuse me. You guys are perfect. Okay, so turn to the person next to you and say, you're my partner. You're my partner. By the way, you're looking good today. Yes. Feel free to roll your chairs around.
And now.
We're going to have the person with the shortest hair go first. Get your dog, get your cat, whoever's around to be your partner. And you are going to, you don't have to necessarily read it, because I want you to speak from the heart. You can glance at it, but pretend that this person is actually representing the billions of people on the planet. And I want you to almost have the feeling of like life or death. Like when I'm in my Samba teacher, she's like, you better Samba for your life. Like, this is not just a rehearsal. However you rehearse is how you perform. So even in these sessions, I want you to have it in your heart and soul, because you're going to be ready. So when you speak on stage, you're not going to feel weird about saying it with that intensity, because you're going to start off intense. And when I say intense, be you. Boo. That's where am I going? If you're not like a serious person, don't be serious. If you're not a funny person, don't be funny. If you're not a passionate person, don't be passionate. Be yourself, but be yourself like with the urgency. This is, I told you the assignment was, this is the last minute that you have to say something to the world. And this is the message that they need to get to save their lives or to whatever purpose that they have. If they don't want to save their lives, they want to die. Okay, fine. Okay? But it's you are the messenger for this message. And they have to be able to have it, okay? So short hair people are going to go first. We're just going to take 90 seconds. Okay? And that's being real generous, okay? So you're going to take 90 seconds for short hair person. Raise your hand if you're a short hair person, just in case. Okay, fantastic. Ready? And go.
My last comment.
On the pain that I went through, I believe it is I would be doing everyone is doing what I did share
An entire
true power of forgiveness. Forgive
that.
You know, they really don't forgive. And
And
then they never forgive.
entitlement. Usually have a negative connotation. When it's like, oh, that person is very entitled. And here it's really
By
something
holding on to all that resentment, you're positive energy. So whatever it is that you have experienced in childhood, as a result, even certain transgressions that are unspeakable, you know, that you don't think you have the power to overcome. For me, I higher power to give me the strength to forgive, and how that has transformed my life has been phenomenal. Just the elders, you know, the people that I'm getting in my life now, because I just follow the fabulous and just really, truly forgiving them.
Okay, thank you, partner.
So much.
The world has heard you. High five. High five. Thank you, partner.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, I highly recommend, especially when you're facilitating workshops. Can I give you a pro tip before we switch? This is so important. This will make me cry. So I used to have, and if you go on my YouTube channel, I highly recommend you subscribe, please. DeborahDarrisLive.com. I saw somebody in the parking lot that had their YouTube on their car. I'm like, oh, that's serious. How do I do it? DeborahDarrisLive.com. So when you watch my videos, my first videos, when I started speaking in 2002, my voice is so sweet. I ruined my voice completely. This is not my voice. This is the raspy, damaged version of my voice because I didn't have these kind of these things, maracas. I don't leave home without them. You'll see me. It could be on the back. Excuse me, Chris. I try not to sing. I go to a lot of concerts. I meet a lot of amazing people. I try not to sing.
I gotta get maraca.
So my mom's a speech therapist, you know, and but there was like 11 years that I was on the road nonstop. Once I started, I was started, right? You couldn't stop me. I was energized buddy. I went on the road and I was speaking all day, every day. And I wasn't, it's almost like a Mariah Carey situation where I needed to have like water, lemon, days when I didn't talk, because otherwise you ruin it. So my voice, it's like raspy, and some say it's sexy. I would like remember Jackie Templeton? Anybody my generation from General Hospital?
Oh.
Yeah, right. Remember her? So it was like, kind of like her. I think Demi Moore played her, right? The Demi Moore voice. So I embrace it, but don't let this happen to you. So if you notice, I won't scream. Now I'm like, and especially from teachers, and then I would go like this. You know, it's kind of like when you're a teacher and you have to get signals, adults, and teachers, I find, if any of you speak to audiences of teachers, they're the worst. They're the worst that don't want to listen, you know? It's weird. So have something, okay? So we're about to switch. Ooh, let's thank our partner. Thanks, partner.
Thank you.
Thank you. Live stream, thank your dog, cat, pet, significant other. Okay, ready to switch, long-haired people?
Yes.
Okay, ready, go.
So,
It doesn't matter.
It's about
You can be
story doesn't belong to you, we're waiting on your story, because there's healing in your story for others. And that's a gift that we can share. And so you are in I thought of ways that my family behind and I felt like everything was people big Latino families, big African American families, and I felt so alone. We'll have the families. And I really
the world.
the ability to be vulnerable in a story makes you feel and I'm like, it's on.
Bottling all that other.
No,
It's gonna kill you.
it's gonna keep your soul. It's because it is there, but it's also a disservice to what others really.
I try to pursue that.
Like you were telling Bruce,
Alex, this like because they're afraid of the change.
thank you.
That I represent. So
Is this too close or is this fine? Because you look great here.
I just wanted to make sure for sound that it wasn't getting lost.
We just reacted to
Ask them, is everything okay? Oh, you can ask.
Ooh,
I can ask message.
how do I? Sorry.
You can unplug it if you want.
No, I just want to make sure.
Wow, it says no internet connection. That's weird. Okay, thank you, partner.
How do you move this down?
Move what? Oh, I don't know.
it's tilted to the back. Like if the
Yeah,
back
I know, I don't know how
piece
to-
is a little higher,
I don't
This
know how to
button?
change that. No.
or the front one a little lower.
This one? When you say back, do you mean this one?
It's leaning like
Oh, this one.
yeah, it's leaning like this.
It's got a lean, like a gangsta lean.
Yeah.
What's going on,
Like to the
friend?
back.
This one?
I think that one can that come down?
No.
No.
Maybe I should just turn it.
Oh, maybe that's a trick.
Yeah, are you guys okay, friends? Hello, hello, hello. Just want to make sure you guys are okay. Excuse me that it's so, okay. So how was that for you? Anybody want to share aha moment? Something that you realized, something that you discovered?
I think our messages were connected a little bit. We went first and talked about entitlement, and I talked about as an individual, and then I went and talked about the ability to get things done after you feel, that you're empowered. Yeah. So they link together.
Oh.
Messages.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Yes.
Well, I appreciated what she shared about exploring, about pursuing your dreams, and reaching your highest potential. That's what I got. And I think we're also here to help people find out what their dreams are, because we need to dream bigger dreams. You know what? We think our dream is big, but there's something bigger. And personally, I think for me, that as long as I stay connected to God, who's the biggest dreamer of all, He put this into reality. I mean, there's no way you can imagine how God big is.
Right.
For me, if I stay connected to God, He's going to lead me to bigger dreams and to accomplishing and to making, to accomplishing those dreams. Because my dreams might be different than His dreams. He might have.
Exactly. And that was last week's workshop. So last week I had an event here. It was a vision board play shop, because we may think, I think that I should speak on this, and I think that my topic should be this based on my education, based on my work experience. But God's vision, and we were talking about this yesterday in our coaching session, may be even bigger and even more expansive than you ever can. That's why it's important to have, if you're not spiritual or religious, some walking in nature, some sort of practice to be able to receive. As women, and we're all women, oh my God, we're all women. That's why we're so fantastic. As women, we're great givers, and we're constantly giving and mothering and doing for other people. But we also need to be great receivers. And like you said, Ani, to receive the divine downloads. One of the things, and I'm going to have this as a recommended book in the follow-up of this session, I'm going to send you the book list. So easy for you. With links to Amazon. You don't even need to like... It's all done for you. But one of the books that I used when I first started my business was called Life Visioning by Dr. Michael Beckwith. He didn't have the book at the time. We were just doing it because I was there as a student. And it is, and I would get the audio version because he leads you in a guided visioning. And if we had more time, I would do it today, but you guys can do it on your own. Where it's like, what is the vision for my speaking career? And you're quiet and it downloads. What do I need to let go of to have this vision come through? Like for me, I needed to let go of what people thought. When I first started my speaking career, I was in my early 20s, and I didn't feel people would take me seriously. So I cut my hair off. Oh my God, why? I was like, I'll never ever do that again. So I cut my hair off, so I thought they would be more, take me more seriously, right? I was like, how is that going to happen? I don't know. Maybe. I looked older. I was trying to look a little older. And I used to get so insulted because they would introduce me as young speaker. Now I'm like, I'm so young. I don't know, I'm even here, you know. I'm barely born, right? No, I was kidding. I was so super young. Yeah, it was like insulting to me at the time. So I felt like I needed to prove it. So that's one of the questions. What do I need to let go of? The other question, the visioning, is what do I need to embrace? And like maybe I need to embrace my power. Maybe I need to embrace my purpose. Maybe I need to embrace my story. Maybe I need to embrace my wound. Ooh, I gotta chill. Because for a long time I felt like a lot of my addictions, I read this book about addiction, Confession of an Adrenaline Addict, I was a freaking workaholic, and I'm really in recovery. Like I have to like set alarms to stop working, make it a sacred day on Sunday to not check email, and I even bought a separate phone so I could stop answering the phone and looking at the business phone, because I'm very available to my clients. You know, everybody has my cell phone texting, but it'd be like Sunday and people are like, let me ask you this, and if 200 people are asking you for something, so having those boundaries. And then the next question was, what are my next steps? And this is like, this seminar was a next step of one of those visioning. So very good. Anybody else? Burning desire. Yes.
So I think for me, and you know, because we started, when I first started my business, I had a vision of where I was supposed to go. Where I think it was more of like where I wanted to go based on my expertise, based on my comfort zone. And as I started doing it, and we got a divine download, I started a campaign, which is called I Am Bold, I Rise, which is a platform to allow women to share their amazing stories. Like as badass women, we all struggle, right? We all overcome, and I think a lot of times we tend to highlight like, hey, this is all the positive things that are going on in my life, but it wasn't easy to get there. We all had to go through struggle, just like you said, like roadblocks and you know the heat and everything that we go through. We don't highlight those enough. So a lot of women feel, you know, like when they look at you on Instagram, like, oh, you're lucky, oh, you're this. I have no idea what I had to overcome to get here. You know, and that was completely like my business plan is not even where I'm going. Like the campaign completely skyrocketed, and it's just, you know, Rosie Rivera, who I envisioned, who we spoke about.
That was like a dream person. She's a major influencer.
About, like, she's a sexual abuse survivor, not a survivor, she's a sexual abuse thriver. Mm-hmm. She's like a woman of God. She's a minister. Like, she's just somebody that I really admire. She was a keynote speaker at my first event.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, how does that happen?
Right. Only God.
God, yes, exactly. So it's just like really just being open to and asking God and praying to God. Like, you know what, God, I want to do what serves you, what your, like, whatever it is that your purpose is for me. Like, you know, give me the vision, give me the strength, the knowledge to do it, which is why now my first workshop is on forgiveness, you know, which is really what I feel like has helped me heal and what has allowed me to be where I'm at today. And I feel like, forgiveness is a journey, just like saying, oh, I forgive. It's not the end of it, but it's like me really teaching not just women, people, the power of forgiveness. My passion is sexual abuse, especially children. And I believe a lot of, child predators were molested or abused themselves. And a lot of why they keep continuing the pattern. I have my bachelor's in psychology, and I went to it because I wanted to learn what makes somebody stop and what makes somebody not, right? Like there's there's no in between. It's like if you were molested or assaulted, somebody continues the cycle or somebody stops it. The degree didn't help me. It confused me more. It's been my experience that I feel, and I really feel that forgiveness is a big part of why sexual predators continue the pattern.
You hear her passion?
Yes. Because they don't, something has not allowed them to forgive, and they just hold on to that bitterness, hold on to that resentment, and then it's toxic to our world, and we need to stop that.
Yes,
So.
I'm so proud of you. So fantastic.
I love that you have a workshop on forgiveness.
I would go.
Forgiveness feels like it needs a workshop.
It's not,
Yeah.
and what I did with it is like in charity, it's like so many people contribute to it. So it's like the 7 layers to my forgiveness journey.
It feels like it's achievable when you put a workshop to it.
Yeah.
And you never know where to start.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
process.
process. I went
It's
to
a
one.
journey.
It was a native. In fact, Yama Van Zant was saying in all of her coaching with Fix Your Life, and she also is a guest speaker at Agape all the time, so I've got to hear her speak. She was one of the ones that empowered me to just be my silly, funny self. She always would bring in like shoes into her speech. And I always bring in Prince. I don't know why. He always comes up in every speech, no matter what I'm talking about. So I just love her. And she said the core teaching, if she could give people one last message, it would be forgiveness. And all forgiveness is self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has this book in the meantime.
Yeah, lots of books. So many books. So I'm so happy that you guys got that. And so your clarity is everything. So those of you that don't know me well, when I am not doing motivational speaking and corporate training, I am facilitating social media marketing workshops, and I'm working with small business owners. The small business owners that are successful that I see make it are the ones that have the crystal clarity, that niche and grow rich. The ones that say, oh, I'm going to do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, or I'm going to do this, and this, and that. We don't have enough resources, time, energy, and money to do all of that. Time, energy, and money. 10. Ooh, I love it. Later on, I'll show you a trick to tap into the universal energy. Because I've had flights where I had no sleep, and I'm East Coast to West Coast, and I had literally nothing in me, and I just tapped into the universal energy. What? I learned it from Dr. Judith Orloff. I'll teach you. Forgiveness is huge, right? So clarity is everything. So we spent a little bit of time on this because if you do not get this, and it's not just like a right now thing, this is something that you're going to be doing the life visioning. But if you want to have one growth work assignment, the life visioning process, so that you can get even more clarity. My business partner and I didn't do the life visioning partner process once. We did it every week for 4 years of our business. And literally the logo that you see outside the world with the infinity sign, we did the vision. And the question was, what is the vision for your company? I saw a world infinity sign, wrote it down. She's over there, wrote world infinity sign. Crazy. That's vortex. That's when you're tapped in. That's when you're tapped in. There's the conscious mind, what we're aware of, the subconscious mind under the surface, and what Carl Jung, you psychologists, talk about is the infinite mind, the superconscious mind. We all have the genius potential when we tap into that. It's just that we'll go to the gym and exercise our muscles, but will we exercise our consciousness? No, sorry, friends. I didn't mean to get so close. But our consciousness is the subtotal of our thoughts. Are we entertaining thoughts of fear, lack, limitation? Reverend Michael Beckwith always says, mediocrity will always challenge excellence. So when we step out into this light of being this powerful speaker, every single hater, every single negative voice, and the more negative talk you have within yourself, the more representations of your negativity will come in the mirror of somebody else. I literally one day was feeling like I was fat, like I just had a day. I felt fat. And literally someone came up to me and was like, "You look fat." I was like, whoa. Said it out of his mouth. I was like, wow. That's the one mind invisible, no separation. He said, I was like, really? That could only be God showing me how ridiculous that statement is. Because I was so mad. I was like, what are you talking about, friend? This is muscle. I was like, oh, but I was just thinking that today. Right? Could you believe that? Crazy. It happened to me the other day. I'll tell you I'm thinking, oh, I'm all alone. I'm super single. So I go to give money to the homeless veteran on the corner. And I'm also trying to give him resources for veteran. And he's like, oh, what about the man in your life? And he's like, I'm like, is he telling you what you want to be? I'm like, oh, I'm single. I'm like, oh, the veteran's feeling sorry for me because I'm single. I was like, Deborah, that's a representation. But do you see how powerful? This is another secret super sauce for speaking success, is to realize that whatever you're thinking in your mind, the audience is picking up. So it's really, really important. One of the pro tip things I do is I don't check email, text, or phone calls for at least 12 hours before. If I'm going to do a big thing on stage, I don't do that. Even somebody texted me something last night in X, and I knew just even responding to him would be something in the back of my mind. I don't want to bring that, So clear yourself so that you're fully available. And this is some of the tips I teach in the course that I'm going to give you to speak with confidence, how to let go of fear. Because you want to be clear and clean. And one of the things that T. Harv Eker and Anthony Robbins do, and I'm sure Lisa Nichols does, is they anchor the emotion they want the audience to have. So this morning, when I was doing my meditation, I was anchoring gratitude that I was willing to show up for this seminar that came through me, not from me. And that grateful that you are here. And grateful that we're having a transformation today. That's my intention. That you're not just getting information, because my 3 words are the same as yours. Information, inspiration, and transformation. I don't want to motivate you. I don't want you to have to be with me to feel good. I want you to be that in your essence. Are we at 2:30? No, we have 7 more minutes. Okay.
Did I hear you say that for 12 hours before you speak, you don't look at emails?
Yes.
You clear yourself from other people's input.
Yes.
So that's important for me to get that.
Yes, I did say that. I'll text my prayer partner. I always do that. We have a text prayer partner. Text for prayer. And she'll bless my event, and I do that. It's kind of almost like a superstitious thing now. I always have her do that all logistics go well. That's why I didn't text her for the logistics this morning. So just to bless all of my events. And then when she says it's done, I know it's done. And then but I don't interact with people. I try not to speak or talk or use any of my energy. I save it all. And I know some of us don't have the luxury for that, but usually when I'm speaking, it's rarely that I'm ever speaking in Los Angeles. If I do keynote speaking. This is a very oversaturated town. So, I've been every other state in the whole 50 states, all over. Especially because I do a lot of speaking for Latinas, Texas and Miami and all that. Believe it or not, Iowa, Minnesota, Kansas. All over all those states. So it's really, really important. Okay, so clarity, niche, and grow rich. It's so important. And sometimes, guess what's going to happen, my friends? Your niche is going to find you. Okay? Your niche is going to find you. Any questions or comments on your niche? And when I say your niche, when I went to the National Speakers Association, one of the things they talked about was it's so important for you to decide, are you going to be a corporate speaker, or are you going to be a conference speaker? Are you going to be a woman speaker? Are you going to be this? And when they were asking me that, I felt, why are they trying to limit me? I don't want to say I'm only for this. Okay, so let me clarify that. When I say niche, it's you decide on the audience that's the most receptive to the message you have. right? And if it's forgiveness, it's a very broad message, right? I find that women, hello women, do you see that? Are more, they're lifelong learners. They're more into personal development. It's like 90-10, the ratio when it comes to that kind of thing. So I've always focused more on women. My niche called me when I first started, and it was based on supply and demand. So when I first started speaking, this is a whole other story, which I do in my diversity speech. I'm not going to tell you when I became a born-again Latina, because I grew up in the Valley. And when I grew up, there was no diversity. Believe it or not, there was no diversity. They was just starting busing at the school. And they put me in ESL by accident, because they saw my last name and they thought, that's when my mom started working at the school, friend. Yeah, by accident. So there was no diversity. So I couldn't hang out with the Spanish-speaking girls, because I didn't speak Spanish. And then, I didn't feel like I really fit in all the different places. And it wasn't until I was 19 that I went to Colombia, and I came back became a born-again Latina. So when I first started speaking, the Latina market came to me. Why? Because I had just come off of salsa dancing, all that. I was just like on fire for Latin culture, married a Salvadorian, why not, right? And I was all about that life. And then I realized, but I don't speak Spanish. They're not speaking Spanish either, right? Everybody in these audiences was speaking English, right? And so then I became super, that's how they say in Miami, super Latina. So I was going to the Latin Business Association group, and the men weren't taking me seriously, or they were taking me something else, right? So I was like, I need to separate. So I started a women's group. This was in 2002. I started a women's group at the Latin Business Association, and every month I would speak. So it gave me a platform to speak. One of the first things, listen to what I'm saying, when I first started speaking, is I would create opportunities to speak. When there were not opportunities, I would create opportunities. My first ever speaking engagements were a meetup group. I'm going to talk about marketing later after our break. A meetup group that I started at my house in the Law of Attraction. Before The Secret even came out, I was talking about the Law of Attraction, and I had a meetup group, and that's where I was getting my clients from. So the Latina niche picked me. So when we talk about niching, it doesn't mean limiting you. It means focusing you. So when you're focused on a topic, or you're focused on a group, or you're focused on an audience, it's just easy to penetrate that market. Verizon would not have picked me for that $60,000 contract unless they typed Latina speaker on YouTube. I own the domain name now. Latina speaker, Latina motivational speaker. So it was like, so if I did not niche and I was just motivational speaker, it would be Les Brown, Anthony Robbins. Can I compete with their marketing budgets? No, not even. Probably never. But can I own and be? If you Google right now to this day, go do it on your break. I dare you, friend. On the first page of Google, there'll be 717,000 results, and I'll come up like 3 or 4 times. And the people that do come up next to me, they're speakers, bureaus, and my friend Yvette. Wow. Right? So and I'm not saying, you become the French speaker. No, I'm not saying like by ethnicity when I say niche, because your niche could be the forgiveness. Your niche could be
Sexuality.
Right. So your niche doesn't have to be that. And so what I'm saying is vision, put yourself out there and your niche will find you. So don't think that you have to figure it out first. If I thought I would have to figure it out, I would still be waiting. I see a lot of my clients get stuck because they don't know what they should do instead of flowing. This is my alarm saying time for a break, because I think the 90 minutes for Facebook Living stopped. So I want you, and I'm going to help you. What? Did you find me? Come on, friend. And I have tricks, SEO tricks, to come up in the Google images and everywhere. But isn't that fun? So discovering your niche, you see why that's important, not just because where you're going to put your time, energy, and money, but also when we start talking later about social media marketing strategy, what are people going to type into Google to find you? What problem do you solve? We just talked about that, right? But that's why the clarity piece is so important. If somebody asks you to speak outside of your niche, like City of Riverside did on diversity, $25,000, are you going to say no? Heck no, friends. You're going to get your speech together, right? If you feel comfortable. I mean, there are certain things that I've said no, Very little. I was speaking in prisons, white-collar criminals. A little worried about that, but I did it. They told me not to smile too much. Juvenile detention centers, rival gang members in South LA. They had police. In the detention center, they had a policeman in there. And the rival gang members, they had like all these people, right? So I'm like, okay. So things that scare me don't stop me from speaking, because I believe if I'm the messenger for the messenger, if I'm the channel, if I'm being called, I'm qualified. Don't qualify the call, answer the call. And so as long as it's
That's a strong thing. Say that again. Don't qualify the call, answer the call.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That was a download. I can't take credit for that. That's a good one, yeah. Don't qualify the call, answer the call. Hello, Jason, are you there? Ready for a Valentine's Day date? No. Okay, friends, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And when I say take a break, get some water. I know some of you on live stream may have to use the restroom, whatever. And we are going to come back. We're not going to take a long break because I have so much to share with you. Can we take a short break? Yeah. Can we do it in like 10 minutes? Yes. Okay. 10 minutes. So we're going to come back at 2:40. I'm going to stop the live stream and restart it. And then if you have any questions at the break, I gave you a number, live streamer, 661-317. You can text for questions, 1677. And we'll be here to answer your questions. And you guys, I'll show you where the bathroom is. You can get some snacks over here. There's, if you don't like my snacks for whatever reason, too healthy for you, there's unhealthy snacks over there. For you at home, go in your own refrigerator, eat your hearts out, don't eat too much. Okay? We'll be back in 10 minutes, all right? Fantastic.